My name is Mikkel Reisbøl. I'm your presenter today, your host of this show, and I have a few things for you today that we need to look at. And here's today's agenda. First of all, an introduction to what is this area of document capture, how do we configure it, how do we register documents to the journals. Let's dig in. Let's start with the introduction to this area. One sentence could say it all. What is this document capture journal registration thingy? What is this all about? How does it work? Why do I use it? Let's take a look. Until recently, you might have only registered your documents to purchase invoice cards or purchase credit memos cards. But with document capture, you can register your documents, as it says here, to the general ledger or the general journal. Sorry, the purchase journal, the general ledger journal or the purchase journals, allowing you to use more areas of your business central. The registration to the journals is available for purchase invoices and purchase credit memos. You will probably ask, why do I want to use this? Why should I use this? And I can come up with a few things about this reason, and that would be, well, if you don't need the invoice card details, it would be obvious to use the journal instead. If you have invoices coming in with very few details on, or don't need the details, set up the solution to send the invoice in the direction of the journal. And it's especially suited for invoices without items. As you know, in a general ledger journal or purchase journal, you cannot handle invoice lines, invoice accounts. So that's one of the good reasons. If you only have, let's say, GL accounts and you want to post it quick and easy, then it's through the journals, or it could be through that. Often I hear companies talk about they don't need approval, or perhaps a minimal level of approval, and then the journals are also suitable for these kinds of demands. Creating purchase invoices or credit memos, the cards, the purchase invoice cards and credit memos cards allows you to submit the documents to a great deal of approval processes. But with the journals and journal entries, it's a bit different story. There's not much to choose there. There is, though, in Business Central built-in minimal approval functionality. But you could also just post the documents straight away because you don't need the approval. So this is what I hear from the customers that I have contact to, that the reasons to using this is due to we don't need the details, we don't post items, we don't need approval. So let's just post the documents straight away and get them finished. How do you then get access to the area, the functionality? Well, it's actually quite simple. Install the app, the solution, and look into the essentials area, the basic module of the solution. It is included. Create GL lines without vendor accounts or with vendor accounts, depending on your setup. But you can create GL lines directly from the basic module, so to say. The journal postings are handled through the purchase category. As you can see here to the right, I have the image showing that we need to go in and configure a few settings in order to tell the category where to ship those entries, those new lines. In case you want to recognize lines and create those recognized document lines as GL or purchase journal lines, we need the advanced capture module in order to get the line recognition feature. So all in all, the Essentials supports header amount recognition, and with advanced capture, you get everything included. Even the XML documents can be handled through a journal, and well, you get to see that in a few moments. It's time to look at the configuration setup. How do we prepare document capture and my Business Central for handling invoices, credit memos through a journal. So here we are. It all takes place in the purchase document category. And if we mention those specific areas you need to change or update, please look at the image to the right. We have the journal area where we choose a general journal template, which currently is table 80 only that is supported, the one chosen here. But you can go in and choose different template names like general or purchase. And under that template name, you can choose any batch name. There's only one requirement. The batch name must have a number series attached to it in order to allow Document Capture to generate lines with a new automatic numbering of the lines. So on the document category card, we'll go in and adjust to fields. And after that, open the template card and switch invoice registration step 1 and perhaps also the credit memo registration step 1 to create journal lines instead of invoice lines or instead of invoice card or credit memo card. This is the required configuration, but if you want to handle balancing accounts, specific balancing accounts, you can do that easily by adding 2 header template fields. The example here is that I've chosen bank account as a balancing account and then the checking account for my bank. You can, of course, post the documents into the journal without a balancing account or a manually selected balancing account. Then Document Capture automatically would use the vendor account as the balancing account. Well, let's take a look at how this is configured. I will switch over to my Business Central, and here we are. And I need to go in and look at my document categories. So I have multiple ways for looking that up. I can go to my document categories list directly or through my journal. So let's go through the journal. Let me get to see this popular place. And what do I need to do here? Yeah, I need to open the settings for my purchase category. So let's go in here and open the purchase category card. Let's edit that one. And here I have my general settings and my list of templates and other fast tabs with important information. But the most important part for today is the section up here with my journal settings. And as you can see, we've already automatically filled in the journal template. If you do a look up here, you'll see a number of tables available, but it is only this one that is currently supported in the solution. I can choose from different journal template names. Let's do a lookup, and I would choose the purchase for today. Yes, please. And I would choose a batch name. What do I have available? I have my default one with a number series attached to it. That's cool. That's great. Let's choose this one. And that's it. Now I don't have to do much more in my setup here for the category. Well, I could do another thing. I could change my templates to my master template to always suggest having my documents sent to a journal instead of the invoice card. So let's do that. Let's look at the PDF. In this case, my PDF purchase master, and edit this one. And here I have my my general settings, and further down my purchase documents where I would like to adjust how do I register invoices. Default value is create invoice, but I would like to change this to create journal lines. And you know, when I change this, I'm being asked, do you want to update all related vendor templates with this value? And I could say yes, then I've updated like 10 or 20 or 2,000 templates in one go. So I would like to do that because I'm only using journals for my documents in this category, in this scenario. Let's do that. And we have 6 templates updated. Oh, cool, great. Saved me a bunch of time. I could do the same for the credit memo, or I could leave the credit memo step 2 as it is. as long as you have settings that allow you to do match or approval, those options will also be made visible. They're still present. But as soon as I update both registration step 1 to journal, please pay attention to all the settings that we have here. Let's just change this also. Then you'll see that the purchase document fast tab has a minimized amount of fields. We hide all the fields that are not relevant. We cannot do auto matching in a journal in this purchase or general journal. Therefore, the matching part has been hidden, and also the approval part is removed from this screen. And through that, you get a very detailed view of what you actually can set up and use when working with journal lines. Let's jump back and take a look at the first window we have here to see what has happened to the template. We should have had an update of the settings. Yes, we can see that. So due to my master template update process, my vendor templates are updated too. Yeah, easy and not much more to say about that. Now it's time to talk about how to register. Let's try to go down that path. What do I have to do and where do I go? Yeah, well, open the document journal for purchase in order to handle the documents and create journal lines. We can, as mentioned earlier, we can recognize and handle header amounts if you want that only. We could also recognize line amounts and have those recognized lines created as individual journal lines in my purchase journal. You only need the advanced capture module in order to recognize those lines. We have 3 different balancing accounts available. If we choose to add the fields in the template, we can select vendor, we can select bank or GL. If we leave the field empty or we don't add the field, then the vendor will be chosen automatically as the balancing account. We're going to see that in a moment, don't worry. We can also, as we know from the purchase invoice and credit memo cards, we can reopen registered documents. So if you create a journal set of journal lines and you have second thoughts, go back to the invoice in the registered document in the document journal and reopen the invoice, and everything will be deleted from the purchase journal and returned to the document journal, the document capture ready to register page. At some point, we will register a document and we want to keep it there in the general journal. So all the registered documents are sent to the document. Oh, I'm mixing things up, sorry. The registered documents are sent to the general journal or the purchase journal, depending on your setup. And when we get to see those entries, those lines, we get a filtered view, meaning that we only see the lines that are relevant to this particular document. So if I register invoice with 3 lines, I get to see those 3 lines only in my journal, even though I might have other open entries in my journal that have not yet been posted. That's quite convenient, enable me to focus on those specific invoice lines that I'm working with currently. We also have the document viewer available, the image of the PDF, the XML to the right, in the right-hand side of the screen. And we can also download the PDF file. And in case we need to change and update recognize the imported amounts, just like we know from the invoice card in Business Central, the document capture option to change the import amounts, we can do that here in the journals too. And when I'm satisfied with my setup and might have configured some extra field values in the journal, I will post the lines, and they will be, as you know, journal entries or purchase journal entries, and it will go into general ledger entries at some point. It will end up in our chart of account, and we can there also view the document through the document viewer, where we can see the image of the document and download the PDF file. Very straightforward, actually. There's not much to it, but it's a new area, so better get some demonstration of what is going on. How do I do this? And I have my Business Central right here. Let's try out some of those documents today. I have prepared a few. The first one would be the top invoice, document number 1. Let's try this out. I have just imported my documents, and you can see we have recognized a number of field values. We do lack the GL account or another account, so I will fill in the GL account. Let me just type in 31010. This is my account, and yeah, let's keep this for later in the setup. So let's now apply to the template. And talk about the template. Let's confirm that I have the right settings in here. We did change it, so create journal lines. Cool. It is still there. Thank you. So what do I need to do now? Yeah, when I fill in the account, I have a warning down here. It doesn't matter. It's just about the payment terms. Everything looks good. The document is marked as OK, as we can see here up in the top left corner. Yeah, so why don't we just go ahead and register the document? So let's see what happens. Oh. The purchase journal opens as specified in my setup. And as you can see to the right, we have the document viewer, and I have 2 lines. I have my GL account line, and I have my vendor account also as the balancing account. 2 lines created. Very simple, straightforward, easy to get an overview. And the list I see is the list of the lines created through this specific invoice that I registered, not like any other documents. Let me go back to my document journal and take a look at the next invoice. So here we are. In this case, I would like to change my template to go in and offer me the option to, do you want to see the journal or not? So I can actually enable this, ask me to open or not open my journal afterwards. So let's do that. And do a refresh of the page to get my account filled in. There we are. And yeah, let's register this one. So now we get the question, do we want just to register or register and so show? So for some entries, some invoices, you might want to skip viewing the journal and simply move on with the next document. But today, let's show the document. And here we are, again, the same journal, but another document. And we didn't post the previous entries, but they are still in the journal, but hidden from our view because we are working with now this invoice number 78. And this is the one we want to focus on and not the previous one. So we auto filter the page when we open it right after registering the document. Let's hurry back to the journal. Once again, take a look at third one from First Up Consultants. We need to add a bit more of complexity, you could say, starting about updating the page so we get the document filled in from our setup. And now that we talk about setup, let's add some template fields. So I like to add the balancing account fields. So I have 2 fields down here. Hold down the Control key and mark both. Click OK. And I get those fields added down here in my setup here in my document header field section. And what can I choose? Let's do a lookup. I can choose between nothing. That means the vendor would be my balancing account, GL account, or a bank account. And I would take a bank account today and do a lookup in my list of bank accounts. What do I have? I have 2 bank accounts, checking and savings. I guess it's the checking I want to use today. And that's it. Very simple. Let me go to the registration and show the journal right after. There we are. And now, instead of having the vendor as a balancing account, we have the bank account checking chosen. So very simple, very easy, very fast to handle different balancing account if needed. I have another example that is a bit more complex, you could say. We have some lines we need to recognize, so let's do that. I would jump over to my document card and do some AI recognition of the lines. I have this tiny little switch up here that I will enable for this document, and the lines are recognized automatically. We can see all the details down here, and through the template settings or my translation settings in document capture already knows where to put these amounts. So we have 3 GL lines chosen down here. Let's look nice. So let's add also a template feed once again, the balancing account. In case you missed it the first time, here is the opportunity to see the second time. And I will choose the bank. Let's do the lookup to see the list. The wrong one, Mikkel, further down. There we are. And choose bank account, and I will have the checking one. So there we are. And what else is needed here? Actually, that's it. Let's go to home and click register. And here we have it. 3 lines recognized, 1, 2, 3, and we have the bank account at the top. In case you want to change something, we can change the import amounts, and we could also, if you want to, download the PDF file if needed. Otherwise, just view it over here to the right and enjoy the view. This one I would like to post, so why don't we do that? Post this one, yeah, to see what goes on. And as soon as I post it, my view is changed to see all my lines that I have in my journal from the previous registrations. So now I've kind of left or changed my focus from one particular invoice to what is left to be posted. You know, I did register 3 documents prior to this line recognition. If you go back and take a look at another document, I would like to change the template for this one. That would be like this auto post option that I really like for petty cash or things where we don't need any approval. You could say specific type of vendor, perhaps. I would post the cost straight away and later then do some controlling of the data and of my accounts to look up the accounts and see through some KPIs do I have need to be alarmed or not, or is everything just great? I would expect the latter, that with document capture checking for fraud and everything would just be cool as it is. So let me see, what did I do here? Did I get some lines recognized? I did, and they're all translated. I just need here to fill in my balancing account this time. I could make this a fixed value if I want to, but today I'm choosing it manually. Now I'm ready to go. So the next step, register, and the document will be posted straight away. There we are, posted. And how do I know that it's posted? It just blinked a split second. But if I go back to my registered documents, take a look at this one, and see I have a not published. So it will be this one. So let's try to use the find entries. You know that the standard find entries also works from the document capture pages, where we can look up where documents have been placed and posted. And then we can see we had one document capture document with one attachment, and we have some GL entries and red entries. Let's take a look at those. And we can see that we have here in my general ledger entries, all the entries listed up based on the filter from the find entries, and we have our document viewer to the right where I can see the content. So it's really nice and neat and quick to access the data. That'll be all from my side. Have a nice day.